Never in a million years at 16 when I had my ostomy surgery done did I think I'd be able to carry a pregnancy, and I am nearing the end of my pregnancy. I'm almost 37 weeks, which is insane. I never pictured myself with a big belly or being able to manage a stoma like I have. There's definitely been some nuances, some things that I've learned along the way, so I thought we could talk about them today. Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today, and in today's video I want to talk about some of the most common questions that people have when it comes to pregnancy with an ostomy. And these are all questions that I had early on when I found out that I was pregnant. Now we are nearing the end, so I thought it would be a good time to kind of recap the questions that I had early on and the answers to them from my own personal experience, because by the time this video goes live, it is very likely that I am not pregnant anymore. I thought that while I talk about these questions, I would also share an ostomy change, because I think that's kind of helpful to see a stoma with a big baby belly behind it. It's not every day that you see a medical device on the belly of somebody who's pregnant, so it's definitely something that people are curious about, and I'm happy to answer the questions that I myself was curious about. The most common question that I have received on my channel for years, well before I ever talked about pregnancy, was, is it possible to even carry a pregnancy with a stoma? And I think just kind of looking at me right now and what's been going on, the short answer is yes. But when you really dig deep into this question, it's a little bit complicated. It really depends on the person, their surgical history, whether or not they've grown adhesions or scar tissue. For myself, it was not an easy road to becoming pregnant. It took about 4 years. So that answer really depends on the person. But the short answer really is, yes, you can carry a pregnancy with an ostomy. The next thing that people wonder about is how a growing pregnancy can impact the stoma. Does the stoma itself change? Certainly as your belly gets bigger, something has to happen to it, right? I've been living with the same stoma for 15 years, and it's so odd to see it change shape and size, because for years it was just static. It just stayed exactly how it was. But since I've been pregnant, it has grown. I think it started growing around 11 or 12 weeks. And actually within the last couple of weeks, that kind of subsided. It actually started to reverse a bit. And I don't know if it's because baby girl is dropping lower in the pelvis, maybe not placing as much pressure, but it's definitely weird to see. I mean, within one bag change, I feel like even during just the few minutes I have my bag off to do a change, I will see it change size. And I feel like you can sort of see it happening on camera here. It like shrinks up and then pushes out, which is normal. That's peristalsis. But I feel like it does it so much more now, and that can kind of make my bag changes a little bit more difficult when it's like actively changing on you as you're doing a change. Another thing that people wonder about is, do you have to change your ostomy supplies, the products that you use? From friends that have carried pregnancies before that I had talked to, it seems like a pretty universal experience that yes, you might have to change your products, you might have to up the sizes, and that's kind of exactly what I experienced. Because my body has changed so much throughout pregnancy, it makes it so you have to adjust your routine pretty frequently, which has been odd. You know, you get really used to your routine and the products that you use, but then when you have this ever-changing stoma, you kind of just have to accommodate it. And that might mean, you know, one bag change looks one way and the next one looks completely different. The timeline, though, around your stoma growing and your pregnancy belly really wasn't clear to me. I was kind of wondering, you know, how long would it be before I could expect to change my supplies or to at least adjust my routine, as you've seen. And I think that the answer to this question is, it's gonna differ for everybody. I think everybody's belly grows at a different rate, and therefore their stoma might grow at a different rate. For myself, around week like 11 to 12 is when I finally started to notice my stoma swelling a little bit. That's what I was thinking. okay, we might have to start thinking about either upping the flange size or changing something. And then it wasn't really until the last few weeks, recent weeks, that it kind of tapered off. You know, it wasn't growing as it was, and it actually started to shrink back a little bit. So I'd say that was around 35 weeks when I noticed that. I think what's happening is as baby drops, as you prepare for delivery, it's taking the pressure off of my stoma, and therefore that might be why it's kind of shrinking a little bit. I didn't expect that. I thought it would just grow till the end. The next question that people have is, does it make changing your ostomy more difficult? This is something that I certainly worried about. I thought, am I even gonna be able to see my stoma? That's a concern for me. Thankfully, it really didn't need to be. One thing that's been a little bit more convenient during pregnancy rather than when I'm not pregnant is the location of my stoma. It can be a little bit frustrating normally because it's higher up on my belly. So high-waisted pants and stuff, I feel like my bag pokes out the top. It's not always convenient for hiding, but in pregnancy, at least I can see pretty well around my stoma to do a bag change. I mean, I do it in a mirror anyway. That's what I'm in front of right now. It's not like my stoma's lower on my belly and therefore underneath of a round belly. What about output? Does it change your output consistency? I've talked a lot on my channel about my own struggles with my output and how it's been loose and sometimes hard to manage, especially over the last couple of years. Thankfully though, the normal symptoms of pregnancy kind of helped me out with this. For better or for worse. In terms of changing output, that has been a little bit annoying. I'm used to the start and stop of looser output, but in pregnancy, your bowels tend to slow down a bit, which I feel like has made my output just constant. It is constantly draining, and I'm gonna have to now throw my rug, my bathroom rug, in the wash because that's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. It's like continuous output, and it's thicker, which is kind of helpful, especially for absorbing more nutrients and stuff, but oh my gosh, I wish I could just get a break with the output. That makes bag changes so much more difficult. This is the reality of bag changes with pregnancy, I guess. I don't know. All right, so it's time to finally get into the bag change. I know I've been standing there for a while with my stoma just hanging out. I will warn you, this is not a perfect bag change, and that's kind of been my experience through pregnancy because my stoma just feels like it has a mind of its own, even more than it did previously. It's kind of fluctuating in size throughout this change, and that's something that I totally was not used to because normally that's something that happens pretty early on after stoma surgery and then settles out as things adjust and things heal. Yeah, it changes size really whenever it wants now. And I think that's been more of a end of pregnancy thing. You'll also see that it never stops having output. Normally I can kind of adjust when I eat, and that will help slow my output a bit so I get a break and I can just do the change without worrying about having output. I don't have a time now where there is an output, so I just have to hold toilet paper over my stoma until, you know, I can get the bag on quickly. So I'm going to share all of this with you. I think it's the reality of a real bag change towards the end of pregnancy. I'm also going to share the adjustments I've made, the products that I'm using that I think really work well for this type of situation where you might struggle with your stoma a bit, but I'm also going to share recommendations that I might not necessarily be doing myself currently, but might be helpful to you if you are currently pregnant. My stoma's on a constant flow right now, so a little bit frustrating to do a change, but I want to show you, you might be able to see that my stoma sucks in and then turtlenecks outwards, even throughout just an ostomy change within a couple of minutes. And so when that happens, it makes it a little bit difficult for my output to go into the bag. I need something that directs it downwards, and that's exactly what the Flow Assist Seal does here. This is the Flow Assist Seal from Ostoform, a unique ostomy seal that wraps around the stoma and provides a spout to direct the flow of my output, along with having less breakdown, getting a perfect fit every time, and directing the flow downwards. I have found it beneficial both pre and during pregnancy. The little Flow Assist spout kind of directs my stoma a bit, which then in turn directs the output. and that makes it so much better so all of my output isn't stuck around the top of my stoma, therefore causing more leaks. I'm trying to give you a close-up view here of the flow assist and the flow assist spout. You might be able to tell that right around the stoma there's this non-absorbent section, and this is what I talk about when I'm saying there's less breakdown. Because my output isn't being easily absorbed into this seal, it doesn't get gunky, it doesn't melt over time, which is kind of my frustration right now with a lot of other seals or even just like paste. This blocks that, allowing for not just a longer seal, but when I go to change my bag, it's much easier to peel off. I feel like I can get my skin so much cleaner, so much faster. I feel like I need a third hand here. Hopefully this toilet paper stays. All right, I'm just gonna warm up my Flow Assist seal in my hands. It's recommended to do that. Helps you get a little bit better of a adhesion. My output is relentless, as you can tell. All right, I think the seal is nice and warmed up, so I'm gonna get ready to place it on. I'm just gonna grab the Flow Assist seal by the spout and kind of direct it so it goes underneath of where the opening of my stoma is, which usually my stoma faces downward, so kind of right at the 6 o'clock mark there. Will you behave long enough for me to place this on? I hope so. You can place it directly onto your bag too, but I just prefer doing it this way. So I'm going to take the back off of this. Shoop. Oh my gosh, do you see how small my stoma just got? This is why I love this. It overlaps, and that really allows me to get nice and close to the stoma. I mean, it gives me the perfect fit rather than trying to stretch out a seal and make that work. You know, that could be kind of frustrating. Okay, no output, behave. All right, see this? I am going to overlap beautifully. Oh my gosh, yes. Let me grab a little bit of toilet paper here just to make sure nothing's coming out. All right, now I need to prepare my flange, which normally I would do ahead of time, but I wanted to be able to show you in the moment. So oddly enough, this is a moldable flange. This is one of the things that I've had to kind of adjust. It's a moldable flange, but I am like at the max size of it. But because my stoma started to back off on growing, I don't want to call up my supply company, move everything up a size just for me to deliver in 3 weeks and then have to reverse and then have all this product too that I won't really be able to use. So I have been cutting my moldable flange. Am I supposed to do that? No, but sometimes you have to make your ostomy routine work for you. So I'm going to just trim it a little bit. It still molds a bit, but it's like I'm cutting off the excess. It's a little too small with that hole. And I'm gonna cut it as I hold the toilet paper on my stoma. What a fun bag change. One thing with pregnancy in particular that I have found extra helpful with the Flow Assist seal is that it's a slim seal. Normally that's what I would go for, even not pregnant, but as my belly has pushed out, I have found that a lot of other seals, even when they're described as slim, they are placing a lot of pressure around my stoma. I think it's actually my belly is pressing into my bag more. So with the Flow Assist seal being so thin, it places the least amount of pressure while still providing that protection and providing that caulking around the stoma. So that has been extremely helpful, but I think we are just about ready to place on the flange. So as you can see, the Flow Assist spout is right under my stoma, and I'm going to get my flange ready to go. What's important with placing the flange on or placing your bag on is to ensure that the Flow Assist spout is actually through the opening or cut that you've made, which it is, and I like to pull it up nice and high to make sure that none of the seal adhesive is showing. And once I confirm that, I look in the mirror too. Yep, looks like we're good. I can then place my flange completely down, and I just usually take a couple of fingers or my hands and really press it down well. All right, and then I remove the paper backing for the fabric border. All right, I want to give you a closer up shot of my stoma, and you can tell this is what's frustrating is I cut my flange to size, or I try to turtleneck it as close as possible, and you can see that there's some area around the stoma where you can see through, but thankfully, because I placed the Flow Assist seal so close, like with the overlapping, thankfully that is protecting me. Again, another pregnancy complication or frustration that I feel like this seal has just been perfect for. And the funny thing is my stoma will then swell up again, filling in that area, but at least I know I have the protection from the seal. Okay, we are set to put on our bag, probably the most important step here. So let me do that really quick. This is something weird too. I feel kind of weird pressing my bag down because I feel like I'm pressing on my baby. I've actually noticed that the bag has popped off of my flange a couple of times. So something that I would recommend, I'm not doing it myself, but something that I might recommend to you is a floating flange rather than a flat flange like I'm using. With my flat flange here on my two-piece system, there's no way for me to hook underneath of the flange and kind of click the bag onto it. But with a floating flange, you're able to actually get your fingers underneath of there and click the bag on. And that really just ensures that everything's connected well. I don't feel like switching things up, especially in these last few weeks. I feel like I can make it. I feel like she's pretty big, like, right? I think we're we're maxed out on space. I just feel very round and I don't know where else she can go. So I'm hoping my belly doesn't get too much bigger and we can make it. Another thing that people wonder about, and this was something that I was so curious about because you just don't know until you feel it, is what is the baby moving gonna feel like? I mean, it's something that is normal that you should expect. You're supposed to do kick counts and make sure that baby is moving a lot, but I was kind of worried with all of my surgeries and having the stoma. Is that gonna be muffled a little bit? Is it gonna be not as strong? Will I feel it differently? And thankfully, that was not the case. I feel her quite frequently. She is an active kid and I kind of want to sign her up for soccer because she loves to kick. I'm grateful that my ostomy really has not impeded my ability to feel her. In fact, having a stoma has led to a really odd sensation. I think that's been one of the weirdest experiences of pregnancy with a stoma, is actually feeling your baby kick your stoma from the inside or push on it. It's very bizarre. I wouldn't say that it's like horribly painful or anything like that, but it's very similar to feeling like you're having maybe some thicker output, or if maybe you are worried about a blockage. Like, I've eaten broccoli before and I haven't chewed it well. You feel this pressure behind your stoma as it tries to push out, as the peristalsis of your intestines tries to push it outwards. That's sort of what it feels like. Sometimes it's a little bit more forceful, like it's a faster kick. But yeah, that's essentially what it feels like, and it is weird. Not awful, like it's one of those unique experiences I don't think the general population, if they are carrying a pregnancy, feels. Okay, so going back to my growing belly and my growing stoma, I was really shocked to see how much I would have to adjust for products and the sizing of them. I mean, pre-pregnancy, some of the stuff that I'm using and how I'm cutting it, I'd be swimming in it. Like, my stoma would totally be swimming in it. It's really weird to see. Even just the adjustments in clothing sizes I've had to do. It's just odd to see your body change so much. I was really worried that I'd be calling my supply company every other thing to adjust the products, change the sizes, like up them, because that's how much it felt like it was changing. This is why I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to share another product from Ostoform that they have just come out with, the Ostapor Crest. With my stoma growing as large as it did, it went from about 1 inch in diameter to 1.5 inches. I actually had to up sizes on my Flow Assist seal. I was using a medium previously. We had to go up to the largest size, and even then I was like, am I gonna max this size out? As you saw, I was able to overlap a little bit. So not a concern, I think, because my stoma has started to shrink. I was about right at the max for the large size, but they came out with a new product, the Crest. This is the Ostapor Crest moldable barrier, and what this does, it kind of has a few functions for you. If you've got a larger stoma size, this can help extend your Flow Assist seal in case you're maxing that out, but it can be used in a couple different ways as well. Say you have uneven skin, this can be used to fill out that uneven area. Say you don't need a seal all the way around, it can be used for that. You can use it to fill in gaps. You can use it with, say, a loop stoma where you've got a little bit of an unusual shape to try and fill in. It's really versatile, and I love that it can be used with just, you know, everyday stomas. I feel like mine's a pretty straightforward stoma, thankfully, but some of the more challenging ones as well. And it has these little flex notches in it that make it just a little bit easier to fit around your stoma, really offer flexibility with it. I think that the Ostoform seal along with the Crest can be a really great solution, especially for those that have challenging stomas that maybe experience leaks more frequently or really have trouble getting that good seal that protects your peristomal skin and makes it so your output isn't seeping onto it and sitting there causing breakdown and further problems. Pre-pregnancy and during pregnancy, the Flow Assist Seal from Ostoform has been the best working, most consistently working product that I've used right around my stoma. Out of all of the seals and the pastes and stuff that I've tried, this is just, I've been able to rely on it the best. I've been able to get the longest life out of my bags, which I find super helpful right now because I'm a little bit tired and lazy. The less I have to change my bag, the better, really. And it's just made for easier cleanup. It's definitely, you know, as my stoma has changed, it's been able to fluctuate with that. So overall, it's really been the most convenient, best working product that I've had for my stoma. And definitely made a huge impact during pregnancy as I've tried to figure things out. What's gonna work best with this guy as it changes? So make sure to check out Ostoform and the Flow Assist Seal in the description below. I think you're really gonna enjoy trying this out. Early on, I did make a video talking about my concerns for pregnancy and how that would impact my stoma. And I am so grateful that even though my stoma has had its frustrations throughout pregnancy, there have been difficulties, it hasn't been as frustrating as I thought it would be. I have been able to go out and live my life, and that's all I can really ask for. Really, I'm just grateful that having my stoma has allowed me the health to grow my baby girl. I truly could not have pictured myself as a teenager when I was really, really sick with my Crohn's disease. Could not picture me today. Would not have expected that this would be my adult outcome. I am so curious to see what postpartum life and the postpartum stoma is gonna be like. I think that's just something we're gonna have to experience, much like pregnancy and the changes my stoma's experienced with that. We're just gonna have to live it, and I'll certainly share about that. Thank you again to Ostoform for sponsoring this video and really just giving me a reliable way to change my ostomy and give me some security. This is what's kind of, you know, allowed me to leave the house and not have to worry about my bag's adherence right now, because it's been a bit of an adjustment, as you've seen. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any more questions about pregnancy with an ostomy, I will do my best to answer those from my own experience. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are looking for a way to help support my channel, consider liking this video or even subscribing. You can also check out my store at LetsTalkIBD.shop. I have stickers and hoodies like these guys over here, just related to chronic illness and inflammatory bowel disease, something fun. And I also have a coupon code for my YouTube watchers. You could also become a member of my channel, like the wonderful people scrolling on screen here. They've become a member and they have access to videos a little bit earlier. It's a great way to support my channel, and really, just watching my videos means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.